There once was a man named Gold Roger who was king of the pirates. He had fame, power, and wealth beyond your wildest dreams. Before they hung him from the gallows, these were the final words he said.
Our perspective is yours for the taking, but you'll have to join us first. We left everything we debated at the Yonko table.
Ever since, pirates from all over the world set sail for the Grand Line, searching for the Yonko table, the table that will make their dreams come true.
Yeah, yo, folks. Welcome to the latest and the greatest from the Yonko table. That is the voice of Grandmaster Who, coming from the back of Maylease one last time. Because that's right, we're here to talk about House of the Dragon. That's right, folks. The hit Game of Thrones spinoff series, House of the Dragon, that looks to detail the Targaryen civil war that broke apart the House of Targaryen. And goodness gracious, were we in for an episode tonight? Episode 4, aptly titled A Dance of Dragons. Son of a bitch. I did not know that was the name of the episode until right now. And as you can hear, we're a little torn up here. Talking House of the Dragon. With me, as always, is DrJaceAttorney. DrJaceAttorney, are you torn up?
You're doing the most.
I'm not. Why
You are.
Feel?
I do, but you're just doing the most.
Do you?
I do. R.I.P. in the chat. There you go. There's my condolences.
That's not enough.
What do you need to be done?
Where are your tears?
I shed them during
What do
the
I need to
episode.
be done? What do I need to be done?
Correct.
I need fucking all these goddamn dragons. Please go take out that bitch Vhagar. Jesus Christ. Enough is enough. This shit is out of control. Listen, we're not alone in this venture, in this dance of dragons. Let's see who else is joining the fray tonight. Dr. Riga, I know you're with me. Aren't you feeling this too? Are you feeling what I'm feeling?
I am feeling what you're feeling. I also want to correct myself on something from last week, but it's relevant to what I'm feeling right now. So last week I talked about dragon seeds. There are actually two characters that got mixed up. The one who was taking care of his family is Hugh. The one who was in the bar is Ulf. And why it's relevant is because we're going to need more dragon riders. R.I.P. to Rhaenys. R.I.P. We're going to need more folks on Dragon back. Because, yeah. I knew it was coming. As y'all know, I'm aware of the book material. But it didn't make it any easier. Because as soon as they said Brooks Rest, I was like, oh no. Oh. Man, he was a real one.
The signs were there early on. I mean, this episode was building her up to die. I was like, oh, well, I guess she's going to die at the end. I don't know how, but she's not living past episode 4. No. There's no way.
The second major loss for Team Black. 2 dragons now. Two.
Dragons, yeah. It is 2. And they're most like, and Rhaenys was the probably Rhaenyra's like biggest supporter at this point, like at least someone who she could rely on, and the biggest dragon that they have that isn't below Dragonstone right now. So, man, yeah. And they, I think if you don't even necessarily have to be familiar with the book material to AJ's point, Dr. Jace's point, that from the start of the season, we've gotten moments with Rhaenys, whether that be with Corlys, whether that be with Rhaenyra, that have started to set up just like her importance to the Blacks, which anytime someone is deemed important in a Game of Thrones show, I'm immediately suspicious of what's about to happen. And I think that we're really setting it up.
Set them up to knock them down. They can't keep getting away with this. They're gonna try. We'll come back to this discussion. Let's talk about the buildup that was the rest of this episode. Okay, we're piggybacking off of last week's strategy, the Riverlands. We gotta get the Riverlands. And I'm gonna tell you right now, majority of this podcast is me gonna be pointing fingers at people who didn't do shit to help. Okay. So the Riverlands, it's this conquest to get the Riverlands. They're playing the game of Risk. Conquer the Riverlands, conquer Harrenhal. You win 40,000 men. Riverlands is quite divided. But we have Harrenhal. Team Black has Harrenhal.
Yippee.
Where the was Damon?
He
Where
was
was he?
He was having nightmares
I don't care.
from a witch of all things.
Fuck a bastard named Rivers. I don't care. A barn owl. Whoopsie-doo.
She's
What's
messing
a
with his head.
What's a barn owl to a dragon?
These are mind games. You have. He's struggling. He's struggling
dealing-
right now.
He's dealing with this internal existential crisis at literally the worst time possible. You couldn't have this 2 wives ago.
Not 2 wives ago.
Yeah, with the Royce girl.
Too soon.
Not too soon. This should have happened a long time ago.
He's
Because-
growing.
Because
I
he
don't
ain't
think
doing.
you could- I don't think you can plan out your existential crises. I think they just happen.
Exactly.
I believe
It
that's
just happens.
It's not right.
it's bad timing, yes, but I don't think you can control that too much.
I guess, because goodness, he's the closest one. Caraxes is there, and he's over here daydreaming, sweet dream, but a beautiful nightmare. Because this don't make no sense. Seeing Rhaenyra and cutting her head off. That's right. You will be her downfall if that's what we're to take from this. Chasing the ghosts of Aemon, the one who's pretty much you. And then who was the other one he saw?
Lena, his wife, his second wife.
Right.
Lena, sweet Lena. I'm mad. Useless.
I do think that, it was, and they talked a little bit about this in like the behind the scenes of just some of the meaning behind what was selected in his nightmares is the things that he is ultimately, or at least he feels he's responsible for, which he likely is responsible for in terms of Rhaenyra and Aemond and Lena in different ways, and whether he's reflecting on some of that regret and what does that mean in terms of his choices moving forward. So I think part of me would be very skeptical about how helpful he would be right now if like dream him or nightmare him is like beheading who he is supposed to be supporting right now. So I don't know. I wouldn't feel confident about his chances in being useful, I should say.
I just need that body there. I need Caraxes there.
The extra dragon.
Oh, he could die
Right.
too.
No,
And then they down 2 dragons.
they have a better
Exactly.
chance. They have
It
a
was
better chance.
Nothing. 2 dragons ain't cutting down that Vhagar.
And the
Nothing's
2
cutting.
most like in the most experienced, I think one we couldn't have multiples.
Mm.
No. Couldn't have multiples. It was already bad
Rhaenys
enough.
Yes, Rhaenys is bad enough. That
Fine.
loss.
Fine. He's MIA. He's not there. He's dealing with the Bracken boy. The Bracken boy who came back, the little boy who stabbed the Blackwood way back when in season 1. He's back. He's all grown up.
I recall.
Useless. Everybody's useless. No one's doing anything. What's he here for? Can you bring your army? Let's go. He's here. And the grandsire of the Tullys are here. The Tullys acted like a bunch of fish with no heads. Does nobody care?
Rhaenyra
What is
cares.
going on?
Rhaenyra cares. She tried to seek peace last episode.
Why? Because she inherited 80 years of peace?
Correct. She had to exhaust all her avenues, as she said.
I guess we need people taking action because the Tullys aren't taking action. These Brackens are just trying to continue their feud. Nobody cares. The blacks are rudderless right now. Rudderless. This is terrible.
It is pretty bad. It is pretty bad. Yeah, Rhaenys was like her most trusted counsel. I can't imagine anyone else giving her sound advice at that table. Because whenever Rhaenys interjected, it was like the voice of reason compared to the other council members that were there, like saying, "We must send dragons, send the dragons. We must report to our vassals." But now with her out of the picture, it's like, I don't know where her advice is going to be coming from here. At least the most respected one. And maybe Corlys can step up, but I don't know. I prefer Rhaenys over Corlys any day.
Corlys don't care. He's dealing with his bastard boy now.
So that's who it is.
He's a bastard. Alan Hall. He ain't got time to worry about a war. He says this boy could be the heir to Driftmark.
He can be.
He don't care. See how nobody cares? They care. Even Rhaenys said the past of that boy is not his fault. She says you need to focus right now about this right now.
And look where it got her. Destroyed.
Where was Alan Hall? Hauling shit. Doing nothing.
What do you want him to do?
I need somebody to step up.
You're asking for too much.
I do find I think there was a lot of criticism towards Rhaenyra for like exhausting all of her options, and the end of the episode showed why she was so ready to try to find any other potential option because of how destructive and like devastating Dragon Battle is. So I did, and unfortunately, that Rhaenys, who was supportive of her, like trying to exhaust all options, and she was always saying that, like, what was the specific phrasing of like, inner battle amongst people in general is bad, but even worse when it is kin. That's not the right quote, but so just the idea, like, she knew that leading up to this moment would be catastrophic, and unfortunately for her it was. But I think what's interesting, and they've done this, since the start of the Greens versus the Black, is like juxtaposing the mess that is kind of the Greens in their own way. And they have a plan, but don't include Aegon in the plan, and maybe the council knows stuff, and likely they don't know as much as at least specifically Kristen and Aemon know. And then the Blacks have their own kind of inner turmoil of like, okay, do we support Rhaenyra in her endeavors of trying to not immediately get into Dragon Battle, or do we not? And so each of them have their own, like, they're not perfect in how either of them are trying to plan out and engage in this war. One side happened to win this time because they got a big ass dragon in comparison, but I don't feel very confident in either one of their pursuits of this conflict.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Has there been a conflict with dragons prior?
Like in Game of Thrones canon?
I guess in the Targaryens since being on Westeros.
Since being on Westeros, I guess I'm not as familiar with their history. Yeah, because when the Conqueror came, they brought dragons with them, but they were, I believe, engaged in battle with like who was on Westeros too.
Right.
Okay.
Because they speak of they speak as if they've seen the dragons battle before. I don't know. I just came across my head. I was like, really, the dragons battle experience is them versus armies and whatnot.
Yeah. I can't recall, and I imagine we can Google and come to see what the answer is. I know there's more inner Targaryen fighting to come, but not with like dragons involved. Because there's like the Blackfire Rebellion and all those various things, but that's like mm, not near this particular conflict, but I don't believe dragons are as heavily as like this. I think this is the statement dragon upon dragon battle in their history.
Gotcha. I think that needed to be clear, that they could just see that if a dragon were to fight a dragon, it's collateral damage, as they spoke of in the after bit. Let's check in on the greens.
Your
We love-
favorite.
We love the greens. Fuck the greens.
Wow.
I thought there were some really interesting scenes though on their side.
There are, for example, Allison.
She was cooking.
She
Well-
was. Her words were no longer honeyed.
She also had something cooking too.
Well,
She had something in the
let's
oven.
hope not.
Oh no, she did.
Yeah, I thought, but her scene with, we haven't seen her with Laris in a little bit.
Mm.
I think she was purposely avoiding, which I would be too.
He's a weirdo.
Yeah, and then also had her scene with Aegon. I thought both of them were really fascinating. I think Olivia Cook is incredibly talented. I mean, the cast itself, they pretty much always are, but I thought she was particularly really great in this episode of just, yeah, the lack of honey towards her words with her son, which I'm certainly interested in the fallout of, like, that being her last words to him before, he has been hurt. And also just the suspicions of Laris, who is always abreast to everything. Noticing kind of the Moon Tea, noticing the books, asking questions, making kind of wink wink nod nods towards her. And so I found both of her scenes to be really fascinating. But overall, I think the watching kind of the greens and their interplay amongst each other, especially I imagine we'll get to Aemond and Aegon, was really fascinating. I thought their stuff was maybe a little bit more interesting to me this episode, in comparison to some of the blacks, at least in the war rooms before we get to the battlefield.
Oh no, I think the greens definitely commanded more of your attention this time around. God, I wish, if you got a guy like Lars lurking around, you'd think you'd just cover your tracks a little better.
Why is she leaving that on the table?
You need to,
What are you doing?
you don't need to be leaving that there.
Makes no sense.
Why you gotta be so stupid? And clearly, he's like, oh, you must worry for Kristen Cole. No shit, Sherlock. Who else? God, they can't make it more obvious. Goodness. But yes, as the council, this I think was probably because you could just see, and we talked about it with the previous episodes too, just Aegon. Last week we called him Aegon the Eager. Let's call him this time around Aegon the Bored. The man's bored. And
This council bores me.
This is what happens when you don't. Here's your crown. Don't worry about how to do the job. Don't worry about the proper protocol. Don't worry about how to best do this. Forget remember those books you got removed from your room? You don't gotta read those. Good thing you didn't burn them, but you don't gotta read those.
I mean, that's a positive. He didn't burn them.
Oh,
That's good.
right. He just wants to be spoon fed. And you know what? I get it. These folks don't want to spoon feed him anything. They said, let's just go about winning this war for this fool of a king and be done with it. I get it. But this is not how you do it. Not with a hot-headed, ill-tempered fool. They did this wrong. They failed. But mind you, what's the word? Every action has an equal opposite reaction. Aegon's a dick of a brother.
Oh, what? Because what he did last week.
It's not just last week. It's not just last week. He's been
What?
tormenting Aemon for a long time.
Is it not just brotherly teasing?
No.
I don't remember what he did to him, honestly.
But there's just been consistent like bullying kind of throughout
Okay.
the course of their life, and I don't think their environment really led to any true care, compassion, or love amongst this family.
Hmm.
Um, and I really what I found the most fascinating with kind of the council scene was the switch to Valarian.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
and kind of the recognition. I imagine I would hazard a guess Aegon probably only knows as much to like say the dragon commands, Dracarys, etc. Whereas Aemond is like fluent.
So,
Uh,
so did we all catch that his sentence made no sense?
it makes no
Yeah. Oh,
sense. He
yeah.
doesn't know how to
That was
speak it.
intentional.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So-
Yeah.
That was
all right.
broken words that was not coherent in any way. That's why there was a question mark at the end. Like, is this how
Correct.
you
Yes.
say it?
Yeah.
I was like, wait a minute. I had to
Yeah.
when it came back up in the after bit, I was like, it still doesn't make sense here.
Mm-mm.
This is not a sentence.
It's not.
This is not a question.
No.
Very intentional. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought I was going crazy. I was like, can have a war?
And I
I
think,
didn't
that the piece of dialogue that Alicent has towards Aegon, a little later about, just do what you need to be doing, which is nothing, basically confirms like you're a figurehead. You're not, we put you in this role because we needed you in this role, but don't actually need you. Like it could have been anybody. Whoever the firstborn was going to be in this position. And so if it was Aemon, it would have been him. If it was somebody else, it would have been him. And so I think what's really interesting kind of about that, the language, and the usage of Valarian, and then a little bit later on, we see Aemon's involvement in the battle is just like Aemon is likely sociopathic. Question mark. We'll get to whether he meant it or not.
Thank the gods.
But he has set himself up in terms of just like skill level is exceptional. Like he knows how to ride into battle, and he's great with a sword, and he knows Valarian, and he knows their history, and he's willing to kind of engage with the council, etc. Like everything that is like maybe expected of a king. So I think a lot of what we saw with Aegon's interactions with different people just confirmed, like, yeah, you shouldn't be here.
It is an interesting dynamic to watch. Let me ask y'all this. Who do you listen to when you're being told the same thing? Do you listen to Otto Hightower or do you listen to Alicent Hightower? Who hits harder in your heart when they tell you that you're a fool? We worked really hard to put you here and now you're blowing it.
Like, which one do we listen to?
Essentially, Alicent said the same thing that Otto said too. And but coming off of season 1,
Okay.
where Aegon, felt that his mother never loved him because he is a piece of shit. They say the same thing, but this one seems to really hit. Or maybe, you had someone like Otto barking at you the whole time, so you don't listen to it until it comes from somebody else. I feel that's kind of what
Yeah.
happened here.
I think it's because it's expected of Otto. He's always been like that. He's always gonna tell it how it is, and then kind of like, Aegon probably just zones that out as a white noise. But then when Alicent comes in, and she is, like we said, her words are no longer honeyed, and she's saying things to Aegon. I forgot what she said. But then Aegon's like, watch your tongue, mother. And she's like,
tread lightly.
Tread lightly.
Grab the Walter White, said, tread lightly.
She's like, or what? You gonna hang me like the rat catchers? She was done. She was tired of it. She was sick. I feel like that hit him a lot more because coming from his mother, who's never really been like that with him, at least telling him the hard truth the way that it was, especially that nothing bit. Because that would have came any day from Otto to Hightower. You're nothing. You're a figurehead. Stay in your place. But coming from Alicent, I think that was where he had his call to action, where he's like, "Oh, I'll show her I'm not nothing. Dracarys." He goes off with Sunfire. Otto says the same thing to him. He does not fly off. When Alicent says it, that's when he goes. Two different ways of doing it.
Well, it's also very. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say they've been really setting up kind of their interaction for a bit, because in the Greens' final episode in season 1, when Alyssa and Aegon are in the carriage, he asks her, like, "Do you love me?" And she says, like, I don't know if you're an idiot or imbecile, some kind of like insult towards him. And so
yes.
doesn't ever actually like answer. And so to have kind of this moment now, knowing some of this history, and then you can all, I imagine, fill in the gaps of just like, I imagine she wasn't like the best mother considering the circumstances, that, yeah, this would like the nail in the coffin, or nail in the, whatever phrase we're trying to use to say, yes, now I fly off. So I agree.
It is also interesting watching Alicent's approach here, because given, the revelation of last week of, Aegon's dream, the Conqueror's whatever.
All in 1 week. Jesus Christ.
Right.
When they kept saying that, I'm like, no, this happened like months ago.
This is the slowest House of the Dragon has ever moved. It's moving mad slow.
Oh my goodness.
Wow. But at this point, she's very much disillusioned with the idea of Aegon being a proper king. He was already unfit to begin with, but they were going to put him on anyways. Then she hears, Rhaenyra talk about Aegon's dream, and now she's like, "Wow, fuck, maybe I was wrong. Maybe that's not what Viserys said." And then, she hears how the council is plotting behind Aegon's back, and it's like, she's just like, "Yeah, what'd you think? What happened? Do you remember when you were just whoring around instead of doing your kingly duties and whatnot? It is what it is, son. It is what it is." So that even hurts, because in the beginning, she was more stern with Aegon, especially in season 1. She would scold him, try to correct his behavior. But at this point, I think, he's coming for that, and she's not giving it. She's over it. She just had that tea, her man's is out there riding to death, and her son's an idiot, and Rhaenyra was right all along. She's never had a moment of peace. She's never at peace with anything that's going on. So poor girl. But yes, Kristen Cole, say what you will about him being Hand of the King. He seems to be quite wise when it comes to war. He's not going for Harrenhal. Genius, I guess. Taking up the smaller places of the Crown Lands.
Lock them inland.
Or don't give them a place. They're
on an island.
Yeah.
So they're trying to keep them on that island.
Oh, right. Yes.
It's working. But also because the blacks are not doing anything. So, man, let the North come through. And run over the Riverlands. Just you wait.
You want the Starks to do this?
Yes. Are you crazy? The North, they ain't never seen a war like the North fight. Let them come through. That's coming. It's coming. I'm calling it. Either way, here we are. I think that's it. We're here. Also, I like Alicent's little quote, imbuing the crown. Did you think it would give you wisdom?
It was genius.
Yeah, she has some stingers this week.
Mm-mm-mm.
Yeah, Aegon was catching them all. Yeah.
Mm.
Whoops.
We got to support Rook's Rest. They are loyal to the Blacks in Rhaenyra.
Mm-hmm.
How do we support this? I mean, they don't have an army. We got to send a dragon. Rhaenyra explains herself as far as, I exhausted my options, as we said. We got to send a dragon. I said, I met with Alicent. We are going to try to vie for peace. It's a no-go. Let's go. Smartly, she also knows not to ride into battle herself. Also, she's not going to send Jacearis. The boy is, what is the word? Fresh. He don't know war.
He's a rookie.
His dragon tiny.
So she only got one other option.
Rhaenys volunteered.
Mm-hmm.
Respect. Most seasoned on a dragon. Meleys is the biggest dragon. It had to be her. It had to be her. Now, directed by Alan Taylor, the guy eats when it comes to these types of episodes.
These types as in battle?
Yeah,
Episodes?
the big kind of
Okay.
spectacle. They weren't gonna win Rook's Nest without the dragons. The greens. They weren't gonna take it. I don't think they were gonna take it. But who comes first? Meleys, right? Meleys arrives.
Mm-hmm.
Meleys arrives. And then Meleys did her thing. I think Meleys let out one blast on those people.
That was enough.
That was enough to make everybody go running.
Mm.
And then Kristen Cole said, all right, there it is. My plan. It's working. Light the signal. And I'm like the signal? What signal? What signal? What signal? And signals go off. And you see, I don't know, camouflage? Was that camouflage? I'm like,
Yeah, she was going to do.
I was like, do we not scout ahead for this big bitch? Do we not like do we not
What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do if you find her?
Well, she's lying on the ground. You can get her if you see her.
Quick, bow and arrow, shoot it at her.
Well, it seemed like she was far enough away
She
because
was
they had to
very
have
far.
multiple horn people.
Correct.
It wasn't like she was just chilling like right there near the castle.
It's like in Mulan in the beginning with the Great Wall, right? They had to signal the flares like along the line to let them know
little
further
chain.
down. Exactly.
Yeah, a little chain of horn blowing.
Let me tell you something. Vagar is huge. Fly another 50 feet. I guarantee you can see that big bitch.
Well, she was a little camouflage. They did a good job.
She
you know.
was.
She was.
She
in the
was.
forest and whatnot.
I guess.
Continue.
Meleys is wrecking shit, doing a good job. Vagar is ready to take off. And then we see
Oh,
who else is it
you
but
want to do that one more time?
who else is it but Sunfire? Ooh. Aegon on Sunfire. I wish I knew the Valyrian word for idiot.
I am the king. See?
Probably did that.
That's how he came in.
I'm so glad that Meleys put Sunfire in his place.
Why Sunfire? Why not
Because-
just Aegon?
Idiot, what's the word?
You think
Idiot-
because Aegon's an idiot, he attracted another idiot dragon, which was
Idiot-
Sunfire?
Idiot games get idiot prizes, okay? This was an idiotic decision. Sunfire is young too. Sunfire is a young dragon. What's that?
According to the internet, it says the Valerian word for fool is MIDI.
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 MIDI. This was a midiotic decision
Aegon the Midi.
made by Aegon the MIDI, the board. What does Aegon know about fighting on a dragon?
Dracarys. That's what they all know.
That was one of the weakest. Your name's Sunfire, and you spit out that.
Plus
What
the
was
force,
that?
the resistance was kind of like pushing the gush back. I don't know. It not only was it weak, it's like, don't you think you should like claw your way up first and then blow it? I don't know. It was weak sauce.
The boy is green.
And an important detail too, not to forget that he is wearing Aegon the Conqueror's battle armor
Embarrassing.
The audacity.
as well. So
Embarrassing.
just want to add to that. Yeah, there's a clear lack of, and I think again there was a lot of this comparison between Aemond and Aegon. A clear lack of prowess.
Very.
Yes.
Yeah, no, it was bad.
It's not very
That was
good.
bad. He didn't land a single blow.
He did.
Well, actually, no, yes, he
Yeah.
did. He bit
But-
off like a chunk of the
Yeah, and the
one
fire
spike.
did.
one spike.
You know, the fire did hit. It not that it was as strong as say like Vagar's, but it did hit.
Yeah.
But then Maylis had done some scratching. You saw like the innards, or whatever.
Oh my god.
Was
So
that blood?
Is
that
the blood like
splashed?
acidic? Is it hot?
I think it's hot. I think the blood has to be
Okay.
hot.
Because
Yeah.
I could have sworn I saw it like steaming when it hit like
'cause
some of
it
the people
hit some
down.
people, yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
So, Sunfire and Aegon, maybe not the best.
Not
This
the
was
best.
this was a dance. You want to call this a dance? What was this? This was like
The stanky
What's it-
leg.
the stanky leg because it was a really bad dance. Sure,
Yeah.
let's call this the stanky leg.
Wow.
And then I don't know. One, I really like this shot. They really like to emphasize how scary Vagar is.
Yeah.
Vagar's wings coming above the tree line like a shark's fin. I was like,
Mm.
ooh.
They had some good shots because there was another with like Vagar in comparison to like Maylis. You can see the size comparison.
Mm.
They had some good shots with Vagar.
Yeah. No, this was nice. This was nice, but it takes two to tango.
Oh,
The Dance of Dragons.
yeah. Keep going.
So Vagar's now in the mix, and we alluded to it a little earlier. I'm pretty sure Aemon was trying to take out two birds, one stone.
I would agree.
Yeah. Yeah. You don't think Aemon was Aegon was just collateral in that
No.
fight? Thank the
No.
gods.
No,
I just like
I
his
think-
delivery.
Thank
Thank the
the
gods.
it's. I think when it happened at the end of season 1, I do believe that was a mistake. I don't think anything else moving forward will be. Because this felt very intentional. He locked eyes. No.
I
It
know
was
what I'm
definitely-
gonna do.
Yeah, 2 birds, 1 stone.
Mm.
2 dragons, 1 Vagar.
Two dragon.
No.
Oh.
2 dragons, 1 Vagar. God, Vagar is a tank.
Yeah,
Just a tank.
what a bad bitch in like
Right.
She is.
a bad way.
She
Right,
needs to
and-
be
right, and
put
the- and-
down.
Not in
Not
the
in
good
a
not in the good connotation of the word
Yeah.
bad. Like
no,
bad.
in a
She's
negative
bad.
connotation.
This is like, I don't know. This is like who needs to retire in professional sports? This is like LeBron. Retire already. Let someone else be the champ. Vagar's the champ.
She's not backing down.
You can't get a bad bitch down. It's too hard.
Really
Can't do it.
Yeah, no, what? May at least put up a good fight though. Oh, Sunfire, I think Sunfire got hit and that was it for Sunfire.
Yeah.
Yeah,
was
it was a one and done. Yeah.
Mhm. And then
Yeah.
I guess when dragons are spewing and they just did a Dracarys, they're a walking time bomb when they hit the ground. There was an explosion.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I did notice that. It's kind of like I don't know, their bowels are like imbued with like fire, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
And they like pop it up. I don't know. Like when they land, right, there's an explosion, a fiery one.
I
I
think
found that kind of
even
cool.
I think Vagar too, because Vagar had a little tumble on the ground. Like Vagar hit the ground.
I don't think she blew up though.
She didn't blow up. I don't think she like.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Sunfire
not,
did. Sunfire
yeah,
blew
yeah.
up.
But Vagar, again, a battle. Dragons entering the fray. No one is safe. Vagar's
She was
stomping
stomping on folk, yeah.
right. Like that harkens back to the season 1 scene where it's like, Damon, you saved us. You saved us. And then Caraxes is just stomping on everybody.
Yeah, just stomping. Yeah.
At the end of the day, I don't think they care. You stay out of the way.
It's
Like,
no longer a battle between.
what are you doing? What are you doing if you're on the front lines and you see Vagar and Maelys?
Your
Right.
battle is over. Like
Yeah. Go
you're
ahead
not.
and say your last rites or whatever. Just
Is that what you're doing? You're not running? You're not hightailing?
I mean, I'm a run and pray. Like
Okay.
Hope for the
please
best.
help,
I'm gonna get on the fastest horse out of here. I'm done.
You do the best you can. Yeah.
Mm.
It's pretty. And I think they said this in the behind the scenes too. Just like the realization you do, they need the armies. But at the end of the day, once the dragon's involved, they don't really matter all that much. Yeah.
They don't.
Yeah. So Maelys and Rhaenys, they give each other that look.
Yeah.
It was a nice little look.
And she could have escaped, but she circled back.
I think there was twice that happened where she's making like that dash like away from the battlefield. I'm like, okay, she's not gonna die. She's not gonna do it. And then she pulls that Yui. I'm like, no, what are you doing? You're not gonna win this.
We gotta do this.
Yeah, she's loyal.
One
Ew.
last time.
Gross.
Now, can I read the excerpt from Fire and Blood?
Oh, yes.
It's just a sentence.
Go
Please. Yes,
for
yes, yes.
Rhaenys.
Mhm.
You can keep talking. I gotta find it.
Oh, okay.
Please pause.
So here's my biggest issue with this. Again, it can't be hard to lose Vagar.
Lose him like escape.
Vagar was tucked behind the castle.
Oh yeah. I thought this was kind of dumb a little bit.
I'm like, how many times is Vagar just gonna pop out of nowhere?
That was my whole thing too. I'm like, I guarantee you he's gonna come up from the bottom somewhere here because they kept looking at the floor because it was like smoky and they're like, where else could he be? He's not in the sky. We would see him. I'm like, please don't do this again where he just appears from the bottom and chomps on the person. As soon as we were going past that castle, I'm like, she's there. Bam, she's there.
2 for 2.
Oh.
2 for 2. 2 for 2 with the same move.
Terrible.
So the sentence, or I guess the two sentences are: Princess Rhaenys made no attempt to flee. With a glad cry and a crack of her whip, she turned Maelys to her enemies.
She was never gonna run.
She doesn't know that demon. So she went straight in. Man.
Yeah.
Now, to Maelys's credit.
Oh, Maelys blew up too. Yeah, she was the other one that did.
Well, but before, Maelys withheld that bite.
Right.
I think Vagar could chomp it off.
I thought Vagar was trying to behead her with that bite.
I thought so too.
And maybe that's a sign that she was resilient until the end. She was not going to humiliate her like that in that fight. So, but that was enough damage. HP dropped to 0.
When you saw that last look, it was a good ride, Rhaenys.
Is that Dom? Are you trying to be Dom?
I don't. I don't got dragons. I got family.
It's been a long day.
About you, my friend.
And then even Rhaenys knew too. When Vhagar let go, eyes went out.
Mm.
Almost Jesus-like.
Holy. Someone got to play that song in her descent.
Mm.
That's gonna hit. Ooh, let me do it. Ooh.
You said holy?
No, I was let her play that song.
Oh,
From,
the Charlie Puth and Wiz Khalifa?
yes.
Oh, do it.
During
Please
her
do it.
descent.
Please,
During her descent.
please do it. Please do it. Do it. It works. It works.
It actually does, unfortunately, yeah.
Oh
Man.
Well, yeah, no, she crashes right there on the castle. And that is the last ride of Princess Rhaenys, the queen who never was, and the queen that always should.
Mhm.
And Meleys, the big dragon,
The bad bitch positive.
the beast beneath the floorboards.
Sure. Correct. That's who she was.
This is what we came here for. This is what we came here for. To see the blacks lose yet again. Gosh darn it.
But that's set up for a potential win, surely, by the end of this season.
They can't win.
That I bet you they'll get something at the end. Well, actually, I guess kind of whatever the hell happened to Aegon is considered a relative win.
I'm sure Aegon's alive, though.
Oh, no, for sure he's alive. But alive to what extent? Yeah, like Kristen Cole, like he saw whatever Aegon looked like. He's like, God damn it. Oh dear.
Was Aemon about to put him out of his misery and finish the job?
Curious question.
Yes. Yeah. And
What was out?
Put him out of his misery is, putting it lightly. What he was really there for in trying to, put him out of his misery. But Kristen Cole's there. Kristen Cole's not going to have any of that. And yeah, I wonder if that will come up again. He asked him, "Why'd you draw your sword?"
And he took the dagger.
Right.
The cat's paw, yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Which is what? Held by the king?
Interesting. So someone's got to be a figurehead king again. Aemond.
I mean, if this boy Aegon's incapacitated,
he's gonna have to be. He proved himself. Oh yeah, he did prove himself. He took out Rhaenys. That'll give him favor in that council, the small council.
Well, not to mention he was already plotting with Cole, the hand of the king.
Well, I feel like this part did not factor into what Cole was expecting. The torching of Aegon. So I wonder if Cole at any point is gonna step in.
He's gonna have to, because at the end of the day, the person who Cole is most loyal to is Alicent, and the fact that his plan has led to her two children fighting with one potentially dead. Oh, he about to be in trouble. That ain't gonna sit well.
We'll see. I don't know.
Hey, she coming for that ass, and more than one way.
Oh,
right. I guess.
But yeah, this is a huge blow to the blacks. The Greens suffered little loss, but ultimately a win. We'll see what happens come next week, which I don't care at this point.
Yes,
they need to step the fuck up, or just quit. Just quit if this is the shit you're gonna give us.
What do you need to see?
Send Moon Dancer. Send Jace's dragon, whose name I forget. Send Caraxes. Send who else they have. Send all the goddamn dragons to take down this bitch Vhagar. Enough is enough.
You're tired of the same old trick being used.
There ain't no way Vagar pulls off this same out from under
Watch
three
her
times
do it.
for a
Watch
third
her do
time.
it.
Ain't no way.
I don't know.
That's got to be their next move. They got to take out Vagar. They will continuously lose.
Yeah, no, she got to go.
If you don't take out Vagar, you take out Aemon.
Ooh,
Needs a rider.
that's right. That's right.
Aemon might be a little easier.
He would be. You just got to
Maybe.
find him without
That was
Vagar.
unclear.
Well, that's what I need. Any final thoughts from y'all?
No. Good mid-season finale for season 2. Losses on both sides. And I'm curious where this is all culminating. Who's going to die next? I expect one more death by the end of
By the
season
end
2.
of the season?
Yes, for sure. One more major death. One more major death.
Mm.
As to who that can be,
Black screens.
the Team Black has suffered so much already. Give Team Green an L for once, please. I don't care if it's Aemon. I don't care if it's Vagar. God, I don't know. Someone on that side has to go.
Mm.
Someone on that side has to go. It's about time.
Oh, goodness. There we have it, folks. That is it from us here at the Yonko table. Talking about a dance of dragons, the Watusi Tango, or whatever she says in that movie. Burlesque. What? Watusi. Whatever kind of dance this is, it's not fun for anybody. But thank you for listening on your various podcast stations. Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you listen to us. Thank you for your support on social media. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube with DrJaceAttorney. And of course, if you want to join the discourse, you hear here, join the Discord in the link below. But that is it from us here at the Yonko table. I'm your Yonko host, Grandmaster Hoop. Fellow Yonko, DrJaceAttorney, and Supernova, Dr. Rika. How should we close this off?
See you again.
So let the lights guide you away. Hold every memory as it goes. And every road you take will always lead you home. Oh, it's been a long day without you, Rhaenys. And we'll sing this song about you for you and Maelys. Fuck that bitch, Vagar. She could go to hell. And we'll tell you all about it when that bitch Aemon fails. When that bitch Aemon fails. Oh, 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 oh.
Do-do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do.